Well, this is going to be an appetite for destruction. There's no reason to use your illusions because we're talking movies. We're talking Thor, Love and Thunder, starring Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman, and Christian Bale. Written by Jennifer Caitlin Robinson and Taika Waititi, who also directed. Chris, if you don't shut up, you won't be invited to the orgy.
I need to return some video scrolls.
That's it. You're out of the orgy.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of How'd You Like That Movie? We're talking about the recent 2022 release, Thor, Love and Thunder. Scott, take us away!
Yeah, pretty much the synopsis of this film is, Chris's life story. What happens when a devout religious man is betrayed by his gods? So he decides to kill the gods, which sets him on a collision course with Thor, Odin's son. And with Phase 4 Marvel full effect, there's a bunch of fucking cameos.
So I actually, when you were making a reference to me, I thought you were going to do the whole, first he had a dad bod, and then he got a superhero bod. But inside that superhero bod was still a sad bod.
Yeah, but you never gotten to the superhero bod yet.
No, this is true. I still got the sad bod.
You're still at the dad bod.
So,
now,
you made me watch a Marvel movie.
Well, technically you picked it, which I fucking blew my mind. So obviously hell has frozen over.
Is this hell? Am I dead?
Well, I mean, you can't just be like, I'm not going to talk about I think right now, what is this? The 6th highest grossing film of 2022, which I mean, is not a big, hurdle to cross considering how bad the pandemic was to movies. But we can't just pretend that these movies don't exist just because Chris doesn't like them. You know what I mean?
Oh, sorry. It's not we can't pretend these movies don't exist. It's you can't pretend these movies don't exist.
There's nobody even watches these movies. I'm like, I don't know, almost $500 million worth of ticket sales that would say different, right? So
yeah, I'll say like in terms of the, like, if we're just keeping this not all Marvel, just the Thor franchise, for me, this movie gets a nice bronze. It's a nice 3rd place out of 4 movies.
Okay.
I don't know about you, because I'm assuming you haven't watched any of these.
So I've seen Thor Ragnarok, which is the other Taika Waititi film. Like, he did the 2, right? So
yeah, he did 3 and 4.
Yeah. Okay, and
all right, so you have
a comment there?
No. I just wanted before we discuss that, I just wanted to see like how much like you knew, like in terms of like
that's about it. Like I may have seen the first Thor. I'm not quite sure. Like I couldn't tell you anything about it, but I remember Thor Ragnarok.
Okay, so yeah,
Thor Ragnarok.
So how did you like revisiting the music library of Guns N' Roses?
So honestly, I loved Thor Love and Thunder. I love this movie. It was so fun. It was super, super fun. And the Guns N' Roses used in it was great. It's awesome. It was used in the right places. There's a lot I like about this film in general. And I think one of the advantages I have is I'm not a super fan. So I can just watch it as a film and go, okay, like I'm not watching it because I'm looking for a lot of like film techniques, overly artistic. And I think there was actually some really cool arty use of I liked when they switched to black and white, the casting of Christian Bale and Natalie Portman. I mean, like there's a lot of like high level filmmaking stuff that's used in this film in general. But I went into it just being like, I'm going to watch some fucking shit fly around. And it's, like I said, it's Taika. So it's going to be funny as fuck. And it was. Mm-hmm. It was a bit sad at the end. Like, it was good. But because I'm not a super fan, I'm not like, man, in comic book number 6, that's not how she held her hammer. Like, fuck that shit. Fuck it. Fuck that comic book nerd
Okay.
shit.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's like that. But yeah,
him.
no, I like it was, to me, it was a very amusing movie. Right.
The critics are not loving it, and the audience is doing like, it's okay. So the critics gave it a 68%, and the audience, it's only at a 79, which is fine. Like, that's a fresh rating, I believe. But I'm actually shocked that like people aren't loving this film more. Like, it's pure candy. It's like the cameos are fucking fantastic. It's so funny. So as someone who watches
I will
these,
say,
go.
I will say fucking, like, because it was in the trailer, so it's not really a spoiler, but Russell Crowe as Zeus with a fucking Greek accent.
Yeah, whoa. If that's all, pretty boy, you go back to your seat and you be quiet.
Just made my fucking day.
Oh, I thought, okay, I didn't want to spoil that because I didn't know when Zeus was coming in, because they really hold off, right? You don't know who Zeus is until that final moment. And I was like, oh my God, who's it going to be? Like, who is going to be Zeus? And then seeing it be Russell Crowe, and then even like Chris Hemsworth, like as Thor, being like, oh, this is the god I like look up to, which as an actor from like Australia, New Zealand, because I think Russell Crowe's actually from New Zealand, he would have looked up to someone like Russell Crowe as like an actor that's come from his part of the world, right? So I just thought that was so, well contrived. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, he did, like, for the scenes he was in, he did steal it, right? But
yes.
I also think that fucking Stormbreaker, the fucking hammer, not the hammer, the axe weapon, fucking stole the movie too.
All the like relationship stuff between the axe, and Thor, and
with his hammer back.
Yes, with his hammer. Like, oh, we're just talking, we're just friends. We're just friends over here.
Hey, bud, come on.
No need. Hey, there you are. Hey.
I was just calling you.
Come on, let's not fight here.
Why? So first off, you gave it a 4 out of 4, as in like
no, 3. It's a bronze.
What's so what is number 4? What is the lowest on the 4?
I would say the second movie, Dark World. For me, that didn't work. But yeah, if I had to do it, it would
Where's
probably
Ragnarok?
would be the first one. I would say
Ragnarok is your favorite.
Yeah, Ragnarok is my favorite. Then I would put the actual original Thor, which was like more of a Shakespearean drama.
Yep.
If anything. And then this one, and then Dark World. But for me, I think the reason why, and again, I enjoyed it, but I thought, and I could see fucking Disney actually releasing this 4.5-hour cut that there actually is. No, I guess, yeah, I get, even like, I know.
Hold on, we gotta talk about that. So, but Taika specifically came out and said, there's no fucking director's cut.
Yeah,
the stuff
he's
that's
totally
not in the
against
film
them.
Is not fucking coming out. So don't fucking tweet at me. Don't hashtag me. Just fuck right off. But he said it with a cool like New Zealand accent, and it sounded like very nice. But basically, that's what he was saying.
Looking for some sort of banter thing because you think we're friends now and we're in some sort of gang together? Cool, we're a team. Hey, we should come up with a catchphrase.
All right.
Okay, on 3.
1, 2, 3.
Get back to work!
Fuck off, comic book nerds.
But the reason why I'm saying in terms of like having Christian Bale as your villain.
Oh, he did so good.
But there's so much more he could have done. Like
what?
you could have seen him go on this rampage, right? Like literally, how many gods did he kill that you didn't see? You just saw it in like, which was the quick edit, like, hey, the Guardians are gonna have this distress calls, and all these people are calling the Guardians of the Galaxy for some reason. And he's off killing gods, right? Like, I wouldn't mind of seeing even 10-15 minutes of like just fucking Christian Bale going full like
you want to actually see the killing of the gods,
right? Because and that was the thing, like the opening of this film, like you feel for his character, right?
Jesus.
Like,
was that not such a great, like, pure dramatic moment? Like that was like such a well-written dramatic scene, like with his daughter and then with the whatever flower god or whatever the fuck that was. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you felt his anger and you felt his sadness. Like he's such a good actor when he's in on the camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. From then on, like you don't really see him much more. He doesn't really have much scenery technically to chew as the villain, right? And I think that's what personally I needed, because especially with Marvel movies, and even if you're looking at Thor in general, right? Like Loki as technically the villain, or whoever the villain was in the Thor movies, took like Thor was backseat to the villain, right? And this one you had a lot more.
That Gore, the God Butcher, like literally stole a bunch of children. Like that's some pretty shady shit, you know what I mean? And then he, you know, basically stuck them in some type of like animal carcass. So
yeah, but it all worked out in the end, right? Like,
are you in Asgard right now, or are you in some type of elven village?
I'm 100% in Asgard. But listen, I got to see a live action fucking Care Bear countdown because of those kids. So that alone.
So wasn't that fucking awesome too? With the bear.
I just started laughing. I was like, Care Bear countdown 3, 2.
And I love that they brought back Matt Damon, the other Hemsworth, the like least popular Hemsworth.
The one from Westworld, yeah, doing the acting in Asgard. Like, I want to go see that play. And was that Melissa McCarthy? Yes. And then you had Sam Neill
as Odin.
Play. Yeah, he's like, oh, look at I'm gonna turn into dust. Look at the dust.
Honestly, like, so why do you think it's not? So why are the critics being so hard on it? I mean, it's a fucking Marvel movie. It's not like, again, some Scorsese fucking deep picture. Like, it's a fucking Marvel movie. Why are the critics being so hard on it, do you think?
If I had to guess,
that's kind of what I'm asking you to do.
Yeah. Sure. If I had to guess, I would say mainly it's because no one's patient anymore.
Okay.
Like by this time in the first set of Marvel films, you already knew where they were going to. You knew where it was leading to, right? You knew it was getting to Infinity War.
Okay.
Right now, you still don't know what they're leading up to. Is it Secret Wars? Is it Kang? Like, you don't.
Are we talking about Thor?
Like Marvel in general. Because
Marvel in general, okay.
And I think that is what, to its like detriment, like Marvel films aren't individual anymore. Everybody's looking at it at the whole as a whole. It's okay, what's going on with these TV shows now? What's going on? And everybody technically now wants fucking 3.5 hour Infinity Wars every time, where it's just a fucking bunch of cameos of different people and different superheroes or different actors and roles.
So doesn't Thor didn't Love and Thunder kind of do that? Like, it seemed like there's lots of fighting and there's lots of cameos.
Well, you had the Guardians at the beginning, right? And then, but that was like 2 minute, and most of their stuff was a montage, which was super funny. But then you had everybody who was cut, right? Like you had, like, this movie had a lot of throwbacks to the other 3 films, right? Like Jeff Goldblum was supposed to be, like, him and Christian Bale apparently filmed some scenes together. Peter Dinklage and Christian Bale filmed scenes together.
Yeah, and they got cut.
Yeah, and then Lena Headey from Games of Thrones apparently filmed some scenes with Bale as well. So
which she allegedly owes money for to her agency, which I thought that's such an interesting business conversation. It's like, you got paid, you're actually not in the film, but there's a lawsuit about the film that you were in, even though you're not in it. You know what I mean?
But yeah, so now it's just, I think that's what it is. And it could be, maybe it's like the Spielberg prophecy, where these films are going the way of the Western. Like they're super popular, but after a while they start
They just won't
waning.
be. Yeah.
Yeah, they just start waning. Like I think, as you said, how like what was the box office?
Well, I said roughly 5 million. It's actually, as of today, it's 416 million on a $250 million budget.
Yeah, so it's already double its money. Thor will return. There will be another one. Right.
Yep. And Chris Hemsworth said that he'll come back. Like he likes working with Taika. He likes what he's done for the character. It's fun.
Well, I think now he's going for the record, right? He wants to beat the Hugh Jackman record, because Hugh Jackman has the record of playing the same character, like Wolverine, the most. And I think he just needs 1 or 2 more films to beat Hugh's record. He got paid. So it's crazy. I looked at his numbers personally. So he's worth like $100 and some odd million. So he got 20 million for this and like 15 million for the last 2 Thor movies. I'm like, just the Thor movies, or no, not just the Thor movies, including like his, I guess he's in the Avenger Marvel. Yeah.
Nonsense, right? I'm just like, imagine one movie, $20 million, boom, like bang, like, and you rack up a bunch of them, like you shoot a bunch back to back, and you're like, there's $50 million. Fuck, man. I want that money.
I was gonna say, if I'm not mistaken, like Robert Downey Jr. got paid 20 million just for fucking his cameo in the first Spider-Man film, Homecoming.
Really?
You're goddamn right.
Jesus.
Like that was some RDJ money.
Yeah. I mean, I think what you're saying is interesting. I don't know if that's like why the critics wouldn't like it. That feels more like why the audience isn't going gaga over it. I mean, it's still doing well in the theater. I guess it took about an 80% drop between weeks. But I mean, it could rebound.
It's no Top Gun, because I think Top Gun was only 10 or 15% drop.
Yeah, man. And Top Gun only recently got beaten out of its top spot, and it's still racking up. I think and Top Gun has crossed the $1 billion mark, right?
Yeah, it's Tommy's. It's Mr. Cruise's top grossing film of all time now.
I want to know how many, as a producer on that, I want to know how many points he's getting. Like, what percentage of that $1 billion number is Tom Cruise getting? Like, did Tom Cruise just become even more obscenely wealthy than he was before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can answer that. Yes, he did.
Did you go with your kids to see this or what?
Yeah. I went. I went with my son and middle child, and then I brought my niece and nephew as well. We went D-box. Fuck. And the seat worked for me. So
nice.
So it was a nice.
You should have taken your wife, because she probably needs the seat to work for her too.
What?
The old D-box.
Buddy. Like, now that you brought that up, like that one scene where Zeus does the whiff and everybody starts fainting, like I might have to sue the writers, because I'm like, that's my life story. Every time this guy goes naked, women start fainting. They can't believe it.
Should we help him? Eventually. Great.
Yeah, his Chris Hemsworth's wife said that the muscles were too much. the muscles that he put on for this one are too much. I'm sure there's like women and men. Actually, there are people out there right now that are like, shut your fucking mouth, bitch. You know what I mean? They're like, you'll keep bringing back that hot Chris Hemsworth. You know what I mean?
But see, it goes back to our discussion with Bad Times, right? Like this poor man just being like used like that, just constantly like, hey, we're just going to fucking
sexualize you.
Yeah.
Although you get to see his dad bod. Is he kind of wearing like a Forrest Gump trucker's hat in that?
Yeah.
It looks kind of like a Forrest Gump trucker's hat.
I'm not gonna lie, like Fat Thor from the last Avenger movie, I wish they fucking kept that going for a while.
Well, Chris Hemsworth has actually kept a lot of the Fat Thor scenes in the movies that he's been a Fat Thor. Like, he kind of likes it. Also, I don't know if they're just doing it with a bat suit or whatever, but he probably also doesn't need to eat every 15 seconds to keep the weight on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Did the kids like it?
Yeah, they all enjoyed it. It was funny. Like my middle child, she's not a big Marvel fan. She just wanted to go for the seats and the popcorn and the candy. and stuff.
Nice. That's kind of why I go too.
Yeah, but it was fun because, like, you know, when people were getting up after the first end credit scene, and then she was like, "Oh, they're not real Marvel fans, Dad, because they're not staying till the end."
Man, sit your ass down.
Whoa. You mean, did I miss something? Because I got out after we saw Zeus come back.
Yeah, there's one at the end.
Ah, fuck. Okay, is that a spoiler, or do we want to talk about that, or?
Well, it plays upon a plot. I can tell you after this.
Yeah, tell me how. So do stay. What you're saying is, to those that are not super Marvel fans, you got to stay till the end. Like,
yeah, there's always two. Yeah,
I did not know that.
They did one. Now they've changed it to two, and I'm pretty sure by 5, it's literally going to be one credit and then a scene and then another credit.
Wait 10 minutes of black screen, and then you get it.
Yeah.
The end. You know what? One thing I do like about the inclusion of end credit kind of, Easter eggs or story is a lot of work from a cast and crew goes into making a film. And anything that forces the audience to sit in their joy juice.
What did he say?
And watch those credits is a good thing. You know what I mean?
Man,
you want to know who the fucking
Pete
Grip was. You want to know who the best boy is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely want to know who the chauffeur for Mr. Hemsworth was on day 4, right? But yeah, that's why we do it on our show. That's why we have an end credit scene every fucking episode.
So my quote this week is from Chris Hewitt from the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. Love and Thunder has a goofy streak a mile wide, as if Watiki is letting us know he's fully aware of the ridiculousness of a bunch of muscly actors running around in Halloween costumes. Yeah, man, like, it sounds like Taika's having just so much fun making these films. I mean, I like him in the films. Like, he's always so funny, even when he's just kind of basically voice acting. What I like about these is you don't have to be a big comic nerd. If you just really want to go and watch a movie and be entertained, and I laughed out loud so many times, I was like, this is fantastic. Because trust me, I was very concerned going in. I'm like, oh my God, this movie's going to be fucking awful. I'm going to fall asleep a bunch of times, and then I'm going to have to just like watch the trailer and kind of riff off the trailer. And I didn't. Like, it wasn't the recent Batman, which was boring as fuck. This was good. It was fun. Like, I highly recommend people go watch this, especially if they just want to turn their brain off and watch a lot of, and again, the acting, Chris Hemsworth is fine. Like, I mean, he's a great Thor, but Christian Bale and Natalie Portman, their acting, like, that's what happens when you write a decent script and you have Oscar-winning actors act out and use their acting ability to give some weight and gravitas to their scenes.
Yeah, well, not only those two, I would say Tessa Thompson did awesome as Valkyrie, and the first outed, LGBTQ character. Yeah. Wait, what was the other one? There's more now.
It depends on who you talk to. Usually, it's like LGBTQ. Trans plus is the one I'm familiar with, but you can get into like non-binary and a bunch of other stuff. So
yeah, outed character in Marvel.
Yeah,
right. They discussed her girlfriend. Believe, right? Yeah, no, they made her like she's a lesbian.
Oh, she's 100% lesbian.
Yeah, okay. Now I think now they've confirmed she is a lesbian in this film, because they start talking about and that was a good scene, but that was the thing, like it's cut with jokes that you don't really realize, like, because when Krog is talking to her and he was like, oh, you just drink because you lost your girlfriend and you don't want to feel that despair, so you're going, and like he's just rambling on.
He just says it, right? He just
rambling on, and it's just like one big like run-on sentence, and then
but she's isn't Krog kind of like either like gay or like non-binary, because he talks about with another man holding hands over the lava, and that makes another baby.
Yeah, but I think his whole race are male.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what they're that's what they were saying, is like his whole race is male, and the only way they can mate is by holding hands with a man over the lava, and then it gets hot and they create another male, because they kept on saying they create another male. Yeah.
And Tessa Thompson, I do want to talk about her. she, I believe she got an Academy Award nomination for passing, but she was also in Little Woods, which is done by the same director who did Candyman that, you know, we both liked, you liked a lot. Has beautiful cinematography, and you can check out her show on Candyman as well. I wanted to plug our show a bit there. So
yeah, no, like Tessa Thompson is like, she's gonna have a very, very fucking long career, and it's gonna be accolade after accolade, right?
100%,
in my opinion.
Do you, outside of the Marvel, like the Thor franchise, what do you like by Taika? Like, which of his films are kind of like your favorite?
Well, obviously Jojo Rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there isn't one that isn't good to watch. Like,
yeah, they're all good. I really like
Hunt of the Wilder People. We fucking Shadows. Sorry,
What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, What We Do in the Shadows is fucking hilarious.
Which is now
this is
a
Dave.
TV show with Matthew Barry on Disney, where they're in the United States instead of in New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
Which is it's super funny as well. But I also if you haven't seen Boy, Boy is based on one of his short films. And it's super funny, but it also talks about kind of like absentee fathers. And what I like about his work is he's funny and comical, but he's also able, sort of like what you just said about like talking about, you know, the LGBTQ relationship in Thor Ragnarok. He's able to take like big issues.
Thor Love and Thunder.
Sorry, Thor Love and Thunder. Thank you. I don't know why you whispered it. You could have just called me right out. He's able to take big issues and just kind of put them together. Like, they can be, the whole can be greater than the sum of its parts, and he's very good at writing just fully complete stories that are funny and enjoyable and entertaining, but also talking about real issues. And again, I love the work he does. I also love Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah, like for me, I was gonna say for Jojo Rabbit, it's still one of the best I think dramatic scenes I've ever experience was when you know, Jojo comes across his hung, like Scarlett Johansson, who is hung, and then notices her shoes are untied and goes up and ties them, and then just kind of like goes away, right? Like, yeah, super heavy scene, right? Like, super heavy scene. My quote that I used there, I need to return some video scrolls. I thought that was so clever, because I don't know, I think that is almost one of the most famous lines from American Psycho. You know what I mean? Which obviously stars Christian Bale. They're like, I got to return some videotapes. Like, if you Google quotes, I'm pretty sure that's the highest one. So to throw that in his role. Well, not only that, like, I'm gonna say a spoiler too. Like, did you see what the name of their ship was that they attached the two goats on?
No.
Cocktails and Dreams. And it was the fucking cocktail symbol. I was laughing my ass off. I'm like, I thought you would fucking know, because it was fucking neon. I'm like, if anybody's gonna notice neon, it's fucking Kris.
I'm gonna watch Thor Love and Thunder again. I'll probably wait now and watch it at home. I would recommend you see it in the theater. It's a big movie. Watch it on the big screen. You know, keep that money going into theaters. I mean, if you can see it at a repertory theater, you don't actually know. I would see it at the big Cineplex, because you need, like you said, if you can watch with D-box seats and all that type of stuff, like,
it adds
it's a
to
big
it.
fun
Like,
music. Yeah.
It like the one we went to go see was 3D with D-box, and like for myself, like I'm way over fucking 3D.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think, and it's not a knock, I think really Avatar was the only one to really use it. Fucking correct.
I saw the trailer for Avatar 2. James Cameron, I can see the money. Like, he's gonna be the first film to hit $2 billion or something fucking ridiculous.
I don't know, man. Like, I think we discussed this before, like, and this is like off tangent, but I think going to watch it in the way he presented that 3D was kind of fucking, because you were immersed in that film. You saw the depth and everything. And I don't see them fucking coming up with a new technology for this movie.
Except so this is one thing that James Cameron did that Spielberg did with Jurassic Park, is that at least he's still helming it. And James Cameron likes to be on the cutting edge of technology, just like Spielberg does, right? So it's not like Avatar 2 is being done by fucking Michael Bay or something like that, or Michael Bay, right? Michael Bay. It's like whatever techniques that are used in this new Avatar film are going to be the most advanced techniques used in filmmaking. You know what I mean?
So you're saying we're doing that film, aren't you?
Well, I think we're gonna have, buddy. It's the guy is like the guy that like it's like first film to cross like 500 million, first film to cross like $1 billion. Like that's James Cameron. Like that's what he does. He just makes fucking movies that make gajillions of dollars.
Because remember, like he did, I think it was 4 back-to-back.
Yeah.
Of these avatars, right? That's why they kept on getting pushed back, because they wanted to make sure like most of them were in the can before they released it. But I will say this, the one movie I do want to do, and I never heard of it, never saw anything until we watched. No. I fucking love Cocktails. That is one of
it is a good movie. It is a good movie.
Yeah, it's one of Tom Cruise's best performances, man. But is that Amsterdam movie with fucking Bale, Margot Robbie? Like I didn't know nothing about it. And I'm like, holy shit, this looks fucking good. And I was like, how much weight did fucking, like literally watching that trailer and then looking at Christian Bale in this movie, I'm like, how much fucking weight did he lose between these two?
Go back and watch him in The Machinist.
Yeah.
Like the guy's like 90 pounds. And then he goes from The Machinist to Dark Knight, or not Dark Knight, to Batman Begins. And he's like super jacked, right? Like I think he actually put on so much weight, like muscle, for Batman that they actually had to be like, you're almost too big here, buds. You gotta thin that sucker out. So yeah, he's very good at he's such a transformative actor, right?
Yeah.
Just on the topic of like Cocktails and Tom Cruise before we go, what the fuck, Mickey Rourke calling out Tom Cruise, saying like, oh, he's been playing the same role for fucking 30 years or 40 years. It's like, and you look like a fucking punched in fucking lemon. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you had a career, you fucking basically threw it away. You got your face punched in boxing. You did The Wrestler. Like, Tom Cruise is fucking driving motorcycles off of fucking cliffs. You should probably take Tom Cruise's name out of your mouth, motherfucker.
You always got to bring it back to Cruise, man.
Cruise and Tango.
What? That's not even a fucking.
It's not even a Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah, like that's fucking Tango and Cash. That's fucking Kurt Russell and Sylvester Stallone. And that is our wrap for the day. Please like and subscribe to this podcast. Tell your friends. If you want to get a hold of us, reach us at the www.howdyoulikethatmovie.com. We got some important stuff to talk about. Where is the orgy going to be held this year? And he's like, what? And they're like, all right. And for the god who had the most human sacrifices, they're like,
yeah.
In my head, I'm like, that's probably what a fucking city of the gods would be like.
Yeah, man.
Who got sacrificed the most to?
Production by Rod Shaver, Vader Monkey Productions.